Okay, everybody, we are here with Marissa Trott from Warrior Ice Arena. And Marissa, introduce yourself. Tell us what you do and what your job title is.
Hi, everyone. I'm Marissa Trott. I'm the facility manager at Warrior Ice Arena. Do a little bit of everything, everything from hiring and training our staff to the day-to-day financials, overseeing the operations, planning all the fun events. And I have the opportunity to work with a pretty amazing staff. So that's what I do in a nutshell.
That was pretty quick. I'm impressed.
I've said it 700 times.
All right. How long have you been in the industry for?
I started working in the industry when I was just 16 years old at my local ice rink in the concession stand, and kind of worked my way up, trying all the different jobs. Always wanted to drive the Zamboni and, kind of understand what goes on behind the scenes, and got addicted, I guess. I've been doing it ever since. So I guess it puts me at about 17 years of doing it now.
That's insane. What is your so I know at Warrior Ice Arena specifically, you do a lot of event stuff. What is your most out of the box event to date? If you were to pick one where you were like, that was the craziest event I've ever pulled off.
Well, I mean, every time we do an event at the rink, we kind of surprise ourselves because we just keep the gamut keeps getting higher and higher. But we, I think the wedding was the big one for us because it's one of those types of events you can't make a mistake. People will notice if something goes wrong. So, making sure that the day was perfect for the couple that was getting married, but also making sure that we crossed all our T's and dotted our I's on the event side so that the guests were enjoying themselves. It also gave us the ability to be as creative as possible. We use supplies that would typically be for the on ice components of events and turn them into, taking our event room and turning it into an ice rink so we could have a big dance floor in there. Just all the little things that we did to make that possible. That was one of the craziest events that I've ever done. And I just remember how much fun it was. And at the end of the day, just looking back and saying, holy crap, I can't believe we pulled that off.
It was awesome. All right. So now we know that you drive the Olympia, and every time you get on, I'm still impressed with the fact that you can do it. Have you ever messed up anything on the Olympia while you've been on it?
Oh my God. Yes. So,
what's the worst thing that you've done?
Oh, I've crashed a few. I used to work at an ice rink where we had an outdoor inflatable dome. So we used to drive one machine from the permanent facility to the temporary facility. And in the middle of winter in a parking lot, you got a lot of sand and salt and stuff like that. So the machine just took a beating over the course of the season. So driving from one side to the other, a lot of sand and stuff had gotten up into where the pedals are just from the tires kicking it up. So, in an inflatable dome, the way the doors work, one goes up, you drive in, close that door. The other one goes up, you drive into the building. If either of those doors are open at the same time, if both of those doors are open at the same time, the air will leave the building. So you have to be very strategic, and it's only about the size of the machine. There's no brakes on Zambonis, so there's really no room for error. So I get into the rink, I cut the ice, I feel really cool, did a great job.
Everybody's
go to drive off the ice. Go to drive off the ice. I've got the inside door open so I can drive into that small room. As I pull into that room, I take my foot off the gas, at what point the machine should stop. However, the pedal got locked down, and instead of stopping, the machine continued to drive out the door. So it pushed the outside door basically completely off the building, and the machine was on a self-driving mission for a good minute there until it went into a ditch. So I was jumped off the machine.
Tell me someone has that on video.
I'm kind of glad they don't, but either way, it was just pretty freaky. Now imagine that all that's happening, and now both doors are open. So instead of figuring out how to get the machine out of the ditch, I had to run back and shut the door to the inside of the dome so that all the air wouldn't escape, which it had at that point had already started to, because it goes out so fast. But I was able to get the door shut. It was a cluster. Wasn't able to cut the ice for the rest of the day. Had to call in a company to do an emergency fix on the roll-up door. probably cost the rink about $3 or $4 grand.
Yowzers. All right. Well, I'm glad that hasn't happened at the arena yet.
Yeah, it won't happen there because we don't have that same situation. We have the Olympias, different machinery, but just still one of many times where we've made errors with machines.
Everybody's entitled to a mistake here or there, right? Happens.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so I get to work with you in the office every day and hear the
Lucky
interesting phone calls and conversations. And on an average day, on I guess your worst day, how many F-bombs do you think you drop in the office?
Dad, I'm not proud
Not
of
the
this
most
one,
appropriate
but
question.
probably more than a fine young lady should, but I make sure that it's behind closed doors so that, I don't teach the young ones anything they're not supposed to be doing.
All right, that's a good answer. And then last question, if you had to give up one part of your job and happily hand it over to somebody else, what part of the job would that be?
Oof. This isn't part of my job because I do love my job so much, but I would give up my commute in a heartbeat. That's one thing that I say all the time, like, oh, the job's so good. I don't mind the commute, but it's tough. I live about an hour away from the rink without traffic. So on any given day that I'm going in and out of the rink, I spend 2 to 3 hours in my car. So that's the toughest part about the job, because once I'm there, I forget about all the bad stuff about the commute in, and I just love working there. Right now, this whole quarantine thing is driving me nuts. I'd much rather be in the office with my team, seeing my staff every day, and our customers. I mean, they're so loyal to us, and they make that place go round. So I definitely miss them a bunch.
Well, at least during your commute, you have a friendly co-pilot.
Yes, who won't come sit with me.
Where's Dax? We need to see him. There he is.
Daxie.
I bet you he loves being quarantined.
I mean, he's a good sleeper, that's for sure. Yeah. But he misses all of his friends at the ice rink.
We miss him too.
Take it well.
All right, folks. Well, that is In a Nutshell with Marissa Trott. Thank you for joining us today. And
see you soon.
Safe. Sounds good.